Hey everyone, Jared here from Gearhead Grind. Just wanted to do another update on the 2006 LBZ Duramax truck I just picked up. I realized I made quite a few mistakes in my first video. I was wrapped up in, picking up the truck and trying to figure things out with how to get home, making sure I was gonna get all my ducks in a row to get home in a timely manner or make it home at all. So I didn't even show you, what the truck sounds like when it starts up or anything like that. So I'll try to cover that right now as well. Also going to go into a video of how to install the Edge monitor. It's really straightforward. I'm sure most of you will have no problem doing it. I'm going to show you how I installed on this truck. It should just be a couple minutes. We're going to start it up, show you the new intake in action, and also do a baseline for what the truck sounds like, because in a future video, I'm going to install a 4-inch exhaust on it as well. So there's going to be this progression of just intake and exhaust, and then intake, exhaust, and tune. And then of course, all the other goodies that'll come eventually down the road as well. I'll show you a little bit of what I've been doing on the truck so far. And then let's jump into the Edge CTS3 monitor install right now. All right, so first off, for the Edge CTS3 install, we have a few key components. The first one, I decided not to just use the standard suction cup mount that it comes with, and I am actually using their custom plastic mount for this year of Silverado. I believe it fits the 01 through 06 or 07 Silverados in the classic body style. We have our CTS3 monitor, and then we have the little adapter that goes into our plastic housing there, and then there's also this clip that goes on the back, and it basically just slides up into the mounting points using these little pins that you see here. So it just kind of snaps in and then clips into place. To mount this guy, it comes with a few metal tabs as well as some hook and loop style mounts. So if we look up here on the dash, what I basically did is I cleaned the dash with isopropyl alcohol first off, because I had actually just wiped it down, so it had some Armor All on it. And then I put this in place where it should go, essentially. You also want to pull this dash trim out and unclip it, because there's a little lip right here that actually goes under that dash trim. So once you figure out where this is going to go, you want to start putting together your little tabs here. There's actually indicators inside of this guy where they mount. So they're labeled 2 and 1, so you know about where they're going to mount. One of them is an angled piece that you can see here, and one of them is a 90 degree, the other one being about 45 or so. So all you need to do is you put your little hook and loop strips on. It tells you which ones to use on the metal side versus the plastic side, essentially. So I basically got the hook and loop ones in place here. Sorry, and then stuck on this, put this in place, and then found out exactly where it was going to sit. I also routed my OBD2 port plug here. So what I did is I popped off this fuse cover on the side. I've yet to zip tie it in place, but I routed the cable down through here, through the trim, and it's plugged in down here. And what I'm going to do is kind of, loop this together and zip tie it in place here. But I do also have the EGT sensor that I'm going to plug in. So I need to route that from the engine bay and then plug it into this accessory port here, or this expansion port. But this is all super easy. You can just get a screwdriver or a little plastic trim tool if you have one, and just kind of gently push this in, and it should hold it in place. In this cable, you can see there's a little indent here on the plastic part. So this cable basically goes in there, and then you align your trim piece here and get everything installed. So let me set up this camera and I'll put everything in place. But essentially all you need to do next is you put in the little rubber piece. It sits in this groove that you can see here. And then you take your CTS3, you attach your backing piece. It's one of the 3 adapters it comes with. You route your cable through the face here, and then you plug it in, and you basically mount it so these little indentations grab onto that rubber piece that we're going to install there. And that's really all there is to it. And then we fire it up and make sure everything works. So let me do that real quick while I record it, and I'll come back to you once it's all installed. All right, so it's all installed in the dash. You can see that it turned on. It's prompting us to turn the key, turn the ignition on and put into run mode. So I'll go ahead and do that now. So do not start the engine, press to continue. And while this is starting up, let me show you what this pod looks like from the side and everything. So you can tell it blends in with the dash pretty well. They did a decent job of aligning it. If we come around the truck, so if you're looking at it from the outside, it looks somewhat factory. Hopefully you can see that through the windshield there. But it looks good from the outside. It looks a lot better than the suction cup mount. So let's see if this guy's started up yet. Yes, it did. All right, so we have our default, sorry about the shaky camera as I get in here. So we have our default screen here. So let me go ahead and fire up the truck and see how it goes. All right, so you see we have RPM, we have battery voltage, ECT, fuel level, load, boost, speed, mass airflow, and all sorts of goodies here. So I have fired this up before. So this is the dash that I had it to set to by default. So I actually have it with this carbon background, and then I have it with orange trim in order to match Gearhead Grind logo and everything. So there's actually a few pull down and pull up screens, so you can start logging. There is a backup camera as well, and you can access some of the settings here. And then if you actually pull up from the bottom, you can see there is tuning, diagnostic, performance test settings of various sorts. We go ahead and pull that up again. We go to settings. So if you want to change your colors, audio, anything like that, you can come in here and adjust the settings. I had turned off the beep sound and then changed it to an orange background, for example. Here's a better shot at the screen now that I'm zoomed in a little bit more here. I know there's going to be some reflection, but hopefully you can see it a lot better. So once again, here is the pull-up screen with our HP tuning, diagnostics, performance test, and setting. So if we go to diagnostics, one awesome one to test. I know there's no trouble codes right now, but we can go to the injector balance. And what that's going to give us is the balance test of all 8 of the injectors. So you want to test this at idle, at temperature. So the truck is cold right now, so it's not quite at temperature. But basically what Chevy's looking for from the factory is plus or minus 4 points is a solid balance. So you see we have 2 of these injectors. One's at -3 and the other's at almost 3. And they're kind of normalizing a bit now, and then now we have a 2.9 here as well. So it has varied depending on when I start up the motor. Thankfully they're all within 4, so they're decent. I'm sure this truck could do with you know, some additional updates and maintenance to make sure these are all good. Eventually I might do a test to make sure that our PSI for all of the cylinders is good and they're maintaining pressure there. But for now, this gives us some indicator that everything is going okay. I'm gonna back out of the screen. I'm gonna load the gauges again. And here's my default gauge that I like the best. I think there's 21 or 22 different styles of gauges that you can choose from. But I love how quick this truck revs. It's really on it, which is great. All right, so let me show you the engine compartment and then we'll go get an exhaust note. One last note about the CTS3 tuner, at least as it is on my truck. If I shut down the truck, it does stay on for quite some time, or it did before. I guess it's turning off now. So every other time I've had it on, it stayed on for quite some time. So I have read that generally the first 3 startups, it'll stay on for longer. So this must be my 4th startup, which it actually is, so that makes sense, after I've installed this. So now it is shutting off in time, but if you don't see it shut off the first time you install it, don't worry, it took a while. For me, it probably took upwards of 5 to 10 minutes before it shut off, but it did not kill the battery or anything. It just looks for a drop in voltage. I don't know how big of a drop, but maybe just a 0.1 drop in voltage or something to turn off. So as you can see now, turned off just in time, no worries there. So, all right, here's the engine compartment of our 06 LBZ. You can see it's actually, if you didn't watch the first video, it's really clean in here. They did a little job of dedusting and cleaning in here. It could be a little bit better, but overall it's in really good condition for a low mileage truck. We did the intake on the last video. We did this S&B intake. One thing I don't like about it right now is this plastic cover is actually not sealing right here. So I'm gonna press it down and see if I can get a better seal and press it when I'm torquing these screws. So there's actually some dust that's accumulated inside the airbox here. So I'm gonna take the cover off, clean that dust out. I mean, there is dust that's gonna get in, but I just wanna clean it out now. And I wanna get this to seal up here at the top, so I'll rework that. That's perfectly fine. But overall, the truck runs great. As far as what I've been doing on the truck so far, I'm gonna go through and clean it up a little bit. You can see the service bed has seen better days. I mean, if they installed it when the truck was new, it's 14 years old now, so that makes sense. So I am gonna clean all the inside of the truck bed as well as the tops of the service body here. And I'm gonna Raptor line this whole thing with some of the standard black Raptor liner. It also did have mounts for various racks that they used in previous jobs, as well as a spare tire mount there. So it did come with the spare, which is kind of cool, but gonna take that off as well. I just need some help getting those bolts. And then so far I've been removing the racks that are back here. 2 of them were actually welded to this plate here. So I had to cut them off using a Sawzall, and then I'm gonna hit it with the grinder to flatten these out and make it look like these are just flat plates. I'm not gonna bother to cut the welds all the way around and try to remove this plate. This is just not gonna be worth my time right now. If you come over here, you can see the pieces I removed. There was a lot of hardware, of course, holding everything on. And then here were the various racks. So freed up, I don't know, maybe 100 pounds of tube or so from this. But of course, I am gonna add weight back on once I do the chase rack. But I wanted to get it into a cleaner state for now, so that way it doesn't have all the lumber racks and everything sticking off this bed. That's where we stand for now. All right, thanks everyone for checking out this video. I know it wrapped up kind of abruptly, but I had actually switched topics. And come back and check out our other videos for how to do a fluid flush on this truck, as well as it can apply to basically any car with a brake fluid reservoir and a typical bleeding system. We're also going to go through a bed liner, doing a Raptor liner on the truck as well, how to prep, spray, and do all that for Raptor liner. And then we're going to get into some fun stuff in future videos. We got a Zone lift kit coming, some Fox shocks, we got some Method wheels, some General tires, all sorts of fun stuff on the way. So please come check out future videos. You know, hopefully you enjoyed the video. So if we earned it, please feel free to subscribe, like the video, comment, let us know what we could do better, what you liked about the video, anything else. Love to hear from you, and keep coming back for more. Thanks everyone.